And we'll call to order the Flood Control District meeting. Again, same thing. We're meeting in the Board of Supervisors hearing room, Bisbee and Melody Lane. Order or deletion of any item on this agenda is subject to modification at the meeting. Any item listed is open to discussion of possible action. Please note that some attachments may be updated after the agenda is published. Members of the Board of Supervisors will attend either in person or by Microsoft Teams. Members of the public may also attend by Microsoft Teams or the mobile app. The board may permit public comment during the discussion of any item on the agenda. To speak on an agenda item, please complete and return a request to speak form to the clerk of the board prior to 9 a.m. on the day of the meeting. Again, roll call. District 1.
Crosby's here.
District 2.
Gomez is here.
District 3. Antonori is here. Again, I ask for a motion to consider consent agenda items number 1 and 2, please.
I move that we approve consent items 1 and 2.
Second.
All right. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda items number 1 and 2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Okay. Next, we have agenda item number 3. Can I get a motion to move agenda item number 3?
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the purchase agreement for parcel number 10474101D 104-80-0013A and 104741010B for Mark Nabel and Kathleen Heaney, husband and wife, in the amount of $300,000 for the Bisbee Effluent Recharge Project.
Second.
All right. The motion before the board is to approve the purchase agreement for the parcels motioned. Any discussion?
There's no.
There is a.
Nobody wants to speak on this?
There is a call to the public.
Okay.
That
Oh, I got it. I got it. Thanks. Thanks. Sure, Lauren. I got it. It wasn't listed on there, so it threw me out. Oh, okay. All right. So we'll begin with Miss Allison Morse. Miss Morse, are you there? Oh, she's in person. Okay, great.
Good morning, supervisors. I just want to say that I had submitted and got a confirmed receipt for a call to the public. So this is really prior to this agenda item. Good morning. It was a long drive. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. You may have received speaker request forms that addressed agenda item number 3, but they may not have indicated that they referred to the flood control district meeting. Clearly they are, as the only other meeting today with an agenda item number 3 is in the regular meeting, and that is a consent agenda item having to do with property tax comp exemption applications. I believe that all of the speaker request forms you received for agenda item number 3 today have to do with this meeting, and I would respectfully request that you share the number you received in favor of or opposed to this item. Regarding the forms themselves, they are not anonymous submissions, as was said at the recent meeting for the new jail. Just so you know, it's impossible for us to submit the online forms without including our names and our contact information. Furthermore, it should be said that if the speaker request form is submitted for an action item, which the overwhelming majority are, the form states that the person's position, their position will be part of the record, but his or her name will not be read into the record. Some people are very private about having their names read in public or are fearful of retribution, as is common in this political climate. The two options at the top of the form for action agenda items state, and I'm reading here, action agenda item. I wish to speak on the item listed below, or I do not wish to speak but want to be on the record. I understand that my name will not be read into the record. Thank you for your time and attention to this important matter regarding the speaker request form.
Thank you. All right. So agenda item number 3, we have up Mark Appel, AP Appel, I guess.
Yes.
Mark Appel. Mark,
Good
you have
good
3
morning,
minutes.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I recently retired and served 16 years in management, stewardship, and planning. I worked the last 6 years as the county's environmental projects coordinator to move the Bisbee Effluent Recharge Project forward on behalf of the Cochise Conservation and Recharge Network. I would like to apprise the board of all the work that was done by the county's partners and myself to bring the Bisbee project to where it is today. We know from over 25 years of monitoring that groundwater and surface water flows in this segment of the river have been declining severely due to drought and pumping in Mexico. This trend will continue unless the county continues to move forward with the project and approve the acquisition for this Keystone property. For more than 6 years, we had been searching for a property around this location that would receive Bisbee's effluent for a recharge, not only to maintain base flows in the river, but to support downstream well owners in Palominas and St. David. A willing landowner was finally found who, after over a year of negotiations, is willing to sell his property to the county. That could change with any significant delay in moving forward with this acquisition. An extensive due diligence process for this property was conducted by the county and our partners with funding from Fort Huachuca, including an appraisal, title search, environmental assessments, preliminary hydrologic analysis, and purchase agreement. In addition, there was an extensive 2 to 3 year process and successful negotiations with the City of Bisbee to finalize a 25-year effluent lease agreement that was approved by the board last year and spells out roles and responsibilities for the pipeline. Also during this 6-year period, the City of Bisbee and County had many discussions with Customs and Border Protection officials from Washington and locally regarding the feasibility of locating the pipeline for the project along the border. This work resulted in the Department of Defense funding and the county's successful completion of the design concept report and survey for the Bisbee pipeline, an important first step in the engineering and permitting required for this project. We know that new pumping in Mexico in the watershed will diminish base flows coming into the U.S. and negatively impact all downstream users from the border up to St. David and Benson. The importance of this particular property and the Bisbee Effluent Project to downstream well owners and water users like the St. David Irrigation District can't be overstated for a multitude of reasons, including the health of the county's economy and environmental well-being. To delay this acquisition could jeopardize the willingness of this property owner to sell, as well as jeopardize his own personal financial planning and expectations. To deny this action would be a disservice to the county's taxpayers, partners, including Fort Huachuca, and all of the county's resources that have been expended to bring the project to this point. Lastly, it would be a disservice to the downstream well owners who depend on these groundwater resources for their livelihood and well-being. I'd just like to finish by saying I recently retired and served 16 years in the service of the county, capping a 38-year career in environmental resource management, stewardship, and planning.
All right. Thank you,
for
sir.
your attention.
Yep. All right. What did I do? I grabbed the wrong paper. Yeah, 1 second. All right. Next up is Mr. Stephen Pauken, P-A-U-K-E-N. Is Stephen? Oh, I got to get used to the name. Sorry, sir. It's our Bisbee town manager. But sir, you have 3
You've seen me
minutes.
twice in 1 month
I know, man.
on 2 different subjects.
All right.
Good morning, supervisors. I'm Steve Pauken. I'm the city manager for the city of Bisbee and one of your partners on the Bisbee Effluent Project. Mr. Apel gave a pretty good overview of what we've been doing over the last few years. All I want to do is reinforce with a couple of things that the city's been doing to make sure you're aware that we are in 100% to this into this project. As you know, we have twice now negotiated IGAs with the county to provide effluent to be transported back to the river for this project, and the most recent one being last year. We have also recently, since the beginning of the year, we have secured a $2 million WIFA grant for the purpose of locating a pump house near where the city's outfall is on Naco Highway and Purdy Lane. That $2 million project will put 2 pumps in place that will basically make sure the water goes all the way down to this site. And then recently, we've engaged services of the same engineering firm that did the preliminary engineering on the pipeline along the border. So we're using the same firm with the same group of engineers to make sure that all of this stuff ties together. The city of Bisbee is all in on this, and we would simply like to recommend to you that you go ahead with the purchase of this property. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next up, Mr. Jack Ricky Vial.
Hello, thank you for taking time to listen to me. I'd like to talk to you about this project as well. And I strongly ask, I beg you, please do not approve this project because this will affect a lot of lives. Even in the studies that show it affects 1,064 wells within the subflow. My concern is that right now I continue to read articles where this type of water is pumped in and it goes into the basin. And it's full of PFAS, and that's forever chemicals that will kill people. You're going to affect the people, the lives of 1,064 wells and their families that will be affected by this decision. The recharge, I would ask, if they're so dead set on doing this, if they think everything is great and we're going to restore the San Pedro, do you want to restore it with something that's poison or with something that's good? My ask is that they have to meet the standards for the Clean Water Act. You got to meet the Clean Water Act standards. If you can meet that, there will be no arguments against it. But they admitted themselves they cannot meet the Clean Water Act standards. And you expect us to drink that. That's not right. You shouldn't do that to your constituents. Also, I'd like to, there's been a few people that may have got here just a little bit too late to put in to speak, and they wanted to have their voice heard on this as well. So I would like to take a minute and just ask those in the audience who disapprove of this plan that they will be personally affected by it. If you're in the audience and it disapproves, please raise your hand so you could see the people that are wanting to speak about this as well. Because there's a lot of things going on. I ask that you slow down on this, look at it. I'm not sure y'all have all the information you need. There's a lot of information out there about the effects of this. So please take your time, consider what's going on, and consider the people who you will be affecting personally, our health, by putting this down the river. And just on the side note, I can imagine that with 1,064 wells, if the health concerns get worse, I believe the county is opening itself up for some huge litigation. And as a taxpayer, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for a lawsuit on something we could have prevented. Please consider the people, check into it, look at the water quality for real, and get some outside independent resources. Just saw an article today about it where they were talking about the effluent, just like these gentlemen are talking about, how it has poisoned water. Please don't poison our wells. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next up is John Isaacson. Is John present? Oh, yes, sir. Good morning. You got 3 minutes.
Good morning to everyone. I'm a rancher on the San Pedro River. My family's been over 100 years. We own property on the San Pedro River. The river runs through our property. I'm representing over 110 people, most of which live within 1 mile of the San Pedro River. My concern is that this water, I know that effluent water goes through a lot of treatment and all, but I'm not convinced that it is contaminated by psychotic drugs, by other drugs, chemicals that will be poured into the groundwater. However it's put in, the water is so shallow, it's within 15 feet. It'll be going into the water system. We have 3 branch trusts on the San Pedro River, the White Trust, the Lazy Diamond Trust, and the Cornell Trust. They're all related to me. And we have a number of wells on the river. Like I say, probably close to 100 of my relatives live within 1 mile of the river. I was never notified of anything of this going to come up or anything happening, and we will be directly affected. My kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, they play in the river. They'll be susceptible to all this. You know, I'm not against water going in the river. There's nothing greater I'd love to see than a river flowing from bank to bank. But there's nothing more I'd not like to see than have contaminated drinking water that my family, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will have to drink for generations to come. We plan on being there forever. I mean, we've been there over 100 years, and we have a lot of family there, and we'll probably continue that. We also grow organic beef, grass-fed beef, which this could have an impact on them. They drink out of the river. They drink water from the wells there. We try to keep all chemicals, anything that would keep them from being organic. We try to keep it clean. We try to do the minimum amount of fertilizing, the minimum amount of antibiotics, the minimum amount of anything that would be contaminate our animals or our beef. And so to me, this is a big deal.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, next up is, I hope I say it right, Mika Garcia on Teams. Are you there? Mika? She on there? No, she's not on there. All right, we have non-speaker requesting to be put into the record, Eileen Swires in support of the agreement. And then we have 28 anonymous people that do not wish to speak that also support the purchase agreement. All right, with that, we'll move on to discussion amongst the board. Ms. Gomez, Mr. Crosby, any discussion?
I do have discussion, but I would be glad to follow.
Go ahead. I'm
Okay,
processing.
that's okay. I'm grateful to all the attendees today. I don't believe recharge efforts will be effective to justify the costs. All depends on rain, and none of this has any plan to create rain. The SPRINCA is the cause of the requirement to preserve base flows of the San Pedro River, and I'm looking for the federal title to the SPRINCA, which I have not seen yet. That is the federal title to the SPRINCA, which I have not seen yet. So to me, this is like the LaChance case in that the new board may be changing course. And lastly, I move we table this item until we look at approximately 3 months until we look at the overall water issue for the county, which because of the budget process, we have really not done yet. That concludes my comments, and that was a motion. I move we table this item approximately 3 months until we look at the overall water issue for the county.
All right, do you mind holding off as we continue the discussion, and then
That's fine.
then we'll entertain the motion.
Well, this is really difficult because I understand how tough it is to get land to do this affluent if it is a good thing. My problem is I agree with Supervisor Crosby that there hasn't been enough time to really look at the issue. Having worked for Patricia Schroeder in Colorado, there was a big issue when we used affluent water. This was way back, and it contaminated drinking wells, and then you can never go back. I'm right now feeling that we need to look at exactly what kind of treatment, if there is any, because the problem is once we do this, you can't go back. You can't get the contamination out of the water. And everyone has protected that San Pedro River in all different aspects, whether you're talking about the aluminum recycle plant up in Benson and on. I don't feel confident in my knowledge yet to be able to absolutely say that letting affluent water into the San Pedro River would have no contamination issues in the future. And I think once you go that direction, there's no turning back. I hope that the landowners that are willing to sell would be willing to wait until we are able to look into this, the issue if in fact this meets the Clean Water Act. I know that they're very high specific benchmarks you have to meet, but there's a reason for that. Because like I said, once you do this, you can never go back. And if it just means waiting a little bit until I have the knowledge that I believe I need to make a really 100% decision, I ask that Bisbee understand. That's why I need to kind of agree with Supervisor Crosby. We really need to go in depth into this because we could be open to litigation down the road or maybe the next board if we don't know what we're doing.
All right. I just want to remind my colleagues that this is just a motion on the purchase of the parcel and that we have work session scheduled coming up on the actual project itself, on the pipeline and the affluent transfer and recharge.
So then this is just for the land
This is
purchase,
just-
nothing at all. Okay.
Correct. This is just for the land purchase. And as we heard from Ms. Watkins, I don't know if she's here, during the work session, this can be undone if the county purchases the property and then the board decides not to go forward, we can always
Sell the land?
sell the land. So this is just for the purchase of the property. So I don't know, Ms. Watkins, did you want to add anything?
Correct. This is just for the purchase of the property.
Correct.
We will always comply with EPA and ADEQ for water quality. PFAS are a concern, and that's being negotiated, or there's rules being created by EPA and ADEQ. We will comply with those. We're here to save the river. We're not here to contaminate it. Currently, the effluent is being discharged in Greenbrush Draw. It's still getting to the San Pedro River. I mean, it's going down Greenbrush Draw. So this is only to buy the property. Because it is we've been trying for 6 years to find a location, and this property has become available. So this is just to buy the property. We will be fully compliant with anything ADEQ or EPA comes out with to, if we actually discharge it.
All right.
But this is just for the property.
I'm sorry, can I just ask that when we do have that work session, that Bisbee would be involved so
Yeah,
that
we
we
have
could
two-
all be on the table?
Two planned work sessions regarding the project itself. So
Okay.
scheduled, but again, just for the purpose of this is just the.
And Bisbee's included in those work sessions, right? Because I have a lot of questions I would like.
We could add Bisbee to the work session, but right now it was just us and the
Okay.
county engineer and her team was going to be briefing us on the project itself as part of the flood district. So
If EPA or ADEQ came out with rules that we couldn't comply with, then we would just sell the property.
Okay.
all right. So with that, there's a motion now on.
There's
the
a
table.
motion. Should I repeat it?
Yes, please
Okay.
repeat your motion.
I move we table this item approximately 3 months until we look at the overall water issue for the county.
Do I have a second? No. All right, we have no second. So, all right, so we go back to the original motion. The motion before the board is to approve the purchase agreement for the parcel numbers listed on the agenda. All those in favor of purchasing the property say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay. Nay. So the motion passes 2-1. Purchase is approved. All right, so we don't have a jail district this morning?
do.
Did I miss the jail district meeting?
Next.
Is it on here? Okay, all right. So the next meeting will be the jail district meeting, so we are going to adjourn the flood district meeting.